Good evening. 4 games to bring you on tonight's Match of the Day. Drama, late turnarounds and the spectacular on the way. And that's just the pundits. Over 800 Premier League appearances in the studio as we reunite former England teammates Joe Hart and Wayne Rooney. And we begin at Anfield with a meeting between last season's top two. Liverpool and Arsenal, the only two teams left with 100% records so far. Commentary comes from Guy Mowbray.
We've seen you do it before. How do you hit a ball like that? Is that what we call a knuckle ball?
I can't explain. It's hard to explain. I'm just practiced this shot for a long time, and then yeah, it looks like that.
How's playing right back? You seem absolutely born to it.
There's always a long discussion between me and the gaffer, and but yeah, to be honest, I play where he put me. I try to give my best, and yeah, help the team.
Arne, if you're going to win a game by 1 goal, might as well make it a good one.
A moment of magic, which was needed, I think, to win this game for either sides. Two teams, uneventful game, not a lot of things happen. Quite equal to each other, I felt. The first half they had the upper hand in the game. To me it felt as if we had the upper hand in the second half. For us, it's very nice to have 9 points out of 3 games where we had in the same games last season 5 points, and then I mean Bournemouth, Newcastle and Arsenal. That's a positive, but yeah, not more than that, I would say.
We've been incredibly consistent against the top sides for the last 2-3 seasons. But today, with the amount of dominance and the clarity that they had, how we had to play the game, that's the next step. We need to produce those moments. We had 4 situations, very clear that we have to finish the actions much better, especially the one with Epps after conceding the goal. That's what you need to win the games.
What is it you need to put that in? Is it more belief? Is it a bit more pace to play?
It's conviction. At the end, and execution is the quality of execution. If we put Szoboszlai in that position another 20 times this afternoon, I don't know how many he's going to put in the top corner. But what it counts is to do it in the moment that's going to win it, and they've done it.
Wayne, you might not have enjoyed a winning goal for Liverpool in this game, but can you admire the technique from Szoboszlai?
Yeah, it was, such a fantastic free kick, and I think the distance, for him to have the bravery to go and take the shot on, and everything has to be perfect for him to score from that distance. You see here, he's over the ball. Arsenal know he's probably going to shoot. There's only one man over the ball, and he's got the confidence and belief to take that shot on. And from this angle, you see how difficult it is. He's got to get it over the wall. But the one question I had really was David Raya in terms of he moved his feet slightly a bit quicker, and I didn't know the reason why.
So I'm going to answer that for you, Wayne. So when you're in goal, you've got to be aware, you've got to be neutral. You've got so many options, but the most important thing is you've got to get eyes on the ball. So at the moment, with that fake wall of Wirtz and Gakpo, David Raya has to be a little bit further to his left than he'd like to be. Here, that wall splits. That's why he makes that adjustment and he gets eyes on Szoboszlai. And when I talked about being neutral, you've got to be able to cover everything. So David Raya is aware there's a Szoboszlai shot over the wall. There's a potential shot goalkeeper's side, which is very important for him to cover. There's a pass into Chiesa, which is slightly less dangerous. And the fourth, but he still needs to be aware of it, unlikely a cross to the back post. Now, as Szoboszlai approaches it, it's very, very clear what's going on now. He's having a shot at goal. David Raya is in a brilliant position. He's in a brilliant position to get those steps in and say, you have to be perfect to beat me. And you know what? That free kick wasn't far off it. David Raya was in a great position. He's one of the fastest, most agile goalkeepers in the Premier League, if not the world. And he had put himself in a great position, set, gets the step in, flies after it. That is absolutely perfect. Sometimes you've got to say, that is world class. Well done, Dominic Szoboszlai.
It was a fantastic free kick, but he's the first player not called Trent Alexander-Arnold or Philippe Coutinho to score a direct free kick in the Premier League for Liverpool in almost a decade. And he was doing it while playing in Trent Alexander-Arnold's former position, not his usual position. How do you think he played?
Yeah, I thought he played fantastic, and his ability on everything we've done. Joe, you were talking about today, wasn't you?
Yeah, I absolutely loved him. And you were saying when we were talking about championship winning performances, you've got Frimpong out, you've got Conor Bradley struggling, and here he is stepping in for his team, not only defending Martinelli, an electric left winger, but turning the ball over and keeping it. This is the position we talk about all the time. Fullbacks not quite being aware at the back post. He's aware, then he's able to get on the front foot and he wants to support his team. Busting the gut. This guy is so fit, spins 100-yard run one way, never gives up, wants to get himself in the best possible position, knows his responsibility. Over 200 yards, not a problem. One of the fittest players in the game. Look, we know he's a really creative centre midfielder. That first time pass through the lines is absolutely brilliant. And that's exactly what you want from your midfielders, let alone your right back. And Kelly, you were just alluding to, as we cross over to this next one, about a previous Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back. Look at this pass, look at this capability. Now look, he's not trying to get himself in that right back position. He knows full well when both those players are fit, he'll go. And then to finish it with this, absolutely world class. Brilliant performance, and with a click of his fingers, Liverpool are unbeaten and top of the league.
It's going well for Liverpool, but they're relying on late goals to do it. As someone who was part of a Manchester United era that was famous for that, Wayne, what does that say about Liverpool?
I think when you score late goals, it's a testament to the players, to the manager, to the coaching staff. You have a belief, no matter what minute of the game is. You've got that confidence, belief that you can go and win games. And when you score late goals, the belief that gives you, not just for that evening, but for the next few days around the training ground, to all the staff, it gives you that energy, that added energy, which, just win the game win the game 3-0 and see the game out doesn't do. When you score that late goal, it gives you such a belief, to moving into the next game. So that's a sign of champions.
We heard from both Arne Slot and Mikel Arteta, who said that it came down to small margins, really, in that game. So it comes down to individual battles. Who do you think came off best in that?
Yeah, I thought Liverpool were fantastic in the individual battles. I thought they dominated. They weren't afraid to go in on Arsenal, especially on Gyökeres. I thought the back four were excellent in how they've done that, especially these two. I think Konate and Van Dijk. Gyökeres, we know he's quick, we know he's strong, he makes good runs in behind, but no problem going in tight with him. Konate here uses up his strength, no problem, wins the ball back, now carves the game down for Liverpool. And again here, I think we see Kerkez here, you think he's got the better of him. As he he gets back, he sticks with him, gets the block in, no way through for Arsenal. And what I really like here, you look at Van Dijk, he's leading from the back, he's pushing Gravel back into the midfield, into the wide player. He's no problem stepping into the midfield, being brave, being aggressive. Now, he probably should do a little bit better here. I know he's a centre-back, but having that intention of, these aren't going to get on the ball and do what they like with the ball, and unfortunately Liverpool don't do better there. But again here, Konate, no problem. He's got a running behind him, let's run offside. Is he quick enough? Yes, he is. He uses his body again, stays tight, gives them no room to get the cross in. Gets a little round of applause from his teammates here. And again, Van Dijk, all game, they were doing this, setting up, being brave, stepping up another attack for Liverpool. But Konate goes off. I think he's injured. But Gomez now comes into the game. No problem here. He knows exactly where his man is. He has a little look. He's in a good position, he's not panicking, he's not rushing, he's not getting forced too far towards the near post. Now as the cross comes in, uses his body and clears the ball. And just when you want your captain coming across people, getting his head on things, great header, clears the ball, and then Liverpool go on to probably a deserved 3 points.
You're one of those classic defenders' celebrations from Virgil van Dijk there. In terms of Arsenal's approach to this game, one of the criticisms of them has been that at times they're a bit cautious in games, that maybe they aren't quite taking enough risks. Their XG against Liverpool was just over a half. They had one shot on target and no big chances in that game. Is that something that they need to be looking at? Is it something that you expect away from home against a title rival, or is it part of something bigger for Arsenal?
Look, it's no doubt it was a difficult moment for them to go through this, and they felt the right side of it at Old Trafford a couple of weeks ago. Arne Slot made a really good point, actually. I think both teams are quite even. But I think, as Wayne talked about there, Liverpool just showed that sign of champions, finding a way, that little bit of magic. Look, if the result was the other way around, we could have been doing a similar analysis. They defended well, they attacked OK, but they just lacked that little bit of quality. And one thing that Liverpool did really well today, they defended them really well on free kicks and corners, which is a big, big weapon for Arsenal. Well,
that was the weapon for Arsenal. But when you take that and look, you take that away from them, and that's a huge part of any team's game to take away. But particularly when you look at Arsenal, their XG from open play is only Sunderland have a worse record.
Yeah, and it's definitely something that they're brilliant at. And set pieces, they get a lot of them. They're slinging long throws in. They look really organised, and it's such a threat. There's nothing against being good at set pieces and winning games from it. But they just need to add that little bit more threat when it comes to the, the majority of the game's not a set piece.
They've got the players in the team to go and hurt players and teams, and they've brought Eze in to be a part of that. They've got some good flair players, and so we'd like to see a bit more, attacking and open play time to score and create goals from different opportunities rather than just a lot of the time set pieces.
Do you see them as being similar to? I mean, look, we're working off 3 games in this new season, but do you see similarities from last season? Because they've spent, £250 million to try and kick on to the next level. It's a big step from second to first.
Yeah, I think from the first 3 games, it's very similar to what we've seen last season. And of course, they've got Gyökeres who's come in, so they need to find a way to play with him in the team. Eze obviously will come into that. So yeah, they've got some new players, but it looks like the same Arsenal, which, in fairness to them, they haven't been too far away over the last 2 or 3 seasons. So they're doing something right. I think they just need that added spice where you look at Liverpool with Mo Salah, being individual brilliant, and they've had other players Liverpool who've created and scored a lot of goals. I think Arsenal need that alongside what they're doing already.
Brighton took 4 points off Manchester City last season, which means